Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Bill and this is Senior Talk and Walks. Today I got an interesting topic for you, and it's about how to stay relevant as seniors. It's always a big question I get. Bill, how do you stay relevant in today's wacky world? Well, first of all, let me tell you, staying relevant is big. I mean, if you don't feel like you're relevant and you don't feel like you belong, then that could be a real problem. So I got some ways to tell you today that you can stay relevant. First, I want to ask you this. What is your number one fear of aging? All right, is it health? Is it financial situations, financial stability? Is it relationships? You know, what is it? Is it about being overlooked in society? What is it? Well, for me, it's being invisible or irrelevant, as I call it. I've thought about this for a long time. About, to me, one of the most important things as I've gotten older through different businesses and doing different things is not being respected as a senior. Age discrimination is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. I mean, I've had it happen to me for quite a few years now. It's a real thing. So my thing is always about just being irrelevant. And I think many of us feel overlooked. We feel like we've been forgotten by society. Technology, for instance, has just flown over our head. Okay, well, that's probably pretty much true. And even in some cases, some of our families have even distanced us, thinking, well, my dad or my uncle or whatever, they've just gotten old. We don't have anything in common and they're just irrelevant. Maybe they embarrass me sometimes, I'm here to tell you that you're not done yet. I don't care if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s. You don't have to be irrelevant. You don't have to be invisible. That's a mental thing. My buddy, I call him my buddy, Zig Ziglar, who I met years and years ago in Texas, used to say, you got to get rid of the stinking thinking. And I always believe that. We always do that. He said stinking thinking can cause hardening of the attitudes. I like that. So we got to get rid of that thinking. I'm going to show you how we can, I'm going to show you just how you can stay relevant. All right? First of all, let's talk about what is relevancy. What does this mean? So what is it? And why are we so fearful of it? Well, I'm going to read you the definition first, okay? I'm going to read it right here. Relevancy is the ongoing ability to stay connected, to be valuable, and to be respected. That's a big word, respect. To be respected in society by actively contributing, here are the three key words, by actively contributing, adapting, and asserting one's voice despite age. So what does that mean? It means that we got to stay involved, right? For us as seniors, we should refuse to be sidelined or stereotyped. We choose to stay curious and involved and present in conversations, decisions, and communities that matter, right? So what does it mean to be relevant today? Not being trendy? Is that it? No, it's about staying engaged, informed, and curious. Let's face it, the feeling of irrelevancy is bad. It's a horrible feeling that we've all kind of gone through it from time to time. It's like we've been thrown out with the trash way before the expiration date, right? You can feel it. I'll tell you how I felt it. Several years ago, I was a partner on the side in a little DJ business with a friend of mine. And we used to DJ weddings, a lot of weddings. And I remember one time that stood out more than any was, of course, all the weddings are younger kids in their 20s, sometimes 30s. But I was over there and doing my thing, standing up, and I kind of move around to the music a little bit. And I know one thing about being a DJ, I've always been able to pack the dance floor. That's what a DJ does, you pack the dance floor. I know how to read a room. I knew what to do that. That was my main job. But I saw this table over there with these young kids looking at me. Then they would talk to each other and then they would laugh. They were making fun of me basically. And I know they were. And it was all about, what's this old guy doing trying to act like he's young or trying to act like that he can do this for us at this wedding? Well, I had confidence that, hey, yeah, I could do that, and I did it. And I did it well for a long time. But it was that feeling, I remember that feeling that didn't back off, and that hurt your feelings. And I'll never forget that. Another one is in a business, kind of one of the business that I helped form with some partners, but they were younger than I was. And I tell you, there was hardly a day that went by that I didn't feel age discrimination. In discussions, in jokes that were made, in decisions that were made, in payroll that was made. Gosh, I felt it. And that was a horrible feeling. Even though I felt I was doing a really good job, I felt that I was being discriminated against, and basically I was irrelevant to them. So how do we overcome this? Well, basically, it's really kind of easy. 3 key words, but I go into a little more detail here. Stay engaged, stay active, stay involved. Those are the 3 big things, all right? One thing else I'll suggest is make it a habit to learn something new every day. Now, I'm a big YouTube guy and social media guy, so I get mine that way. But you can get yours in a lot of different ways. But, you know, if you make a habit every day, then I'm going to learn something new today. Just one little thing. Make a goal of that. You can read, you can study, you can research, you can watch the internet, whatever, but just make it a goal. Another thing is get involved. I mean, you can get involved with your local politics. I've been involved with my planning and zoning commission in our town, or city council, and I've been on our HOA board in some of my locations. I've been asked to serve on several committees in our schools, church groups, things like that. That's getting involved. Just don't sit back and do nothing. You got to be involved. You got to stay engaged. You got to stay informed. Watch the news, but watch unbiased news. Try to stay away from news that definitely leans in either direction. There's a lot of neutral news that you can do out there. Google, ChatGPT. If you haven't learned about ChatGPT, just download that app, Chat, C-H-A-T-G-B-T. Type in anything you want, and it'll respond to you. Kind of like Google, except it's not ad motivated. It's just research based. Anything you want to know. So read books, ask questions. So once again, what does all this add up to? Well, it adds up to staying in the game, right? Back to technology. Technology is not your enemy. It can be your best friend. You don't need to be an expert, but learn how to make sure you can text, you can email, you can Zoom. Make sure you know all the little features of your smartphone. There is a YouTube video for everything that you need to know. Just go to YouTube and search it and you'll find it. Study that. Learn something new every day. All right? I've said this in a couple of my other videos. Don't play the old card. That's so frustrating to me. Not too long ago, I tell the McDonald's story. I went into a McDonald's and there was an older gentleman in front of me. Actually, he's probably younger than I was. But he was playing the old card. You know, they got the kiosk there where you can make your order. He walked up to and stared at it like it was a UFO. And I was in line waiting behind him. There's only one kiosk. And I was like, come on, man. You know, and he was looking and staring. And I mean, it just went on and on and on. And finally, an employee came over and said, sir, can I help you? And he goes, yeah, I'm old and I don't know technology and I don't know how to work this thing. And I said, oh, come on, man. I almost wanted to go up there and pick up his hand and just touch his finger to the touch screen. It says it right there. And everything's in pictures. What do you want? You want a hamburger? You want a breakfast sandwich? What do you want? Just pick the picture. I mean, it's kid proof. You know, I mean, it's kid friendly. It's everything friendly. Quit playing the old card. I'll tell you another thing. You know, when I go to a grocery store in the checkout line and I see an old person who's in the checkout line, For me now, I don't want to get behind them because I know they're going to get up to that checkout area and it's going to be, oh, I'm old, I don't know how to. They always push the attendant button. These people are younger than I am, and they don't know how to look up a price of a tomato. Just read the instructions, man. You can read. You're not dead. It's just right there. Take an effort. Don't just keep falling back and playing the old card. It gives all of us a bad name. We're all seniors. But, you know, we live in a high-tech world. Learn it. Don't use that excuse that, well, I'm old and I don't know what I'm doing. And come on, man. Just because we're seniors doesn't mean that we have to stop learning. We got to live in this world. We got to live in this society. You got to adapt. You got to evolve. Because here, I tell you what, here's something important, in my opinion. When we stop learning, we very well may stop living. Say that again. When we stop learning, we could stop living. You know, there's a lot of library events out there. There's workshops, there's online classes, there's mentorships. There's all kind of stuff out there that you can get involved in. And don't use that as an excuse. Now, relevancy won't just happen on its own. You have to make the effort, right? If you don't do anything and just sit back in your recliner every day, you're going to become irrelevant. You're going to be irrelevant. And you know what? Seniors have wisdom and life experience. We got a lot of wisdom and we have a lot of life experience. And those are two of the biggest perks of being a senior, right? I like to look at it like this, that you have the knowledge, which knowledge means power. It means you got something else. You got something that a lot of people don't have that they want. So if you have the knowledge, you have the power. And if you have the power, that leads to self-confidence and security for yourself. Okay, that just makes you feel good. It's the opposite of feeling irrelevant, because now you're relevant again, because you have something that somebody wants and somebody needs, and it's your wisdom, and it's your maturity, and it's your knowledge. In other words, yes, all of this stuff keeps you relevant. And that's the name of this story, and that's our goal, right? So remember to stay social. Because if you don't, that's when you can very easily slip into irrelevancy, not being social. And that's, you know, our kids are really involved in that today. They stay inside and play the video games, and they don't come out and play. They keep their face buried into their computer, and they become social media people. But that doesn't mean staying social with regular people. I saw it in my whole life, in my career of hiring people, especially younger folks, that was a real problem. I could tell they were not social. They lacked a lot of social structure. They were missing a lot of social attributes that made them, you know, relevant for me, relevant for themselves. You know, I got to be careful about that myself. One of my big downfalls is my recliner. I love sitting in my recliner. I watch YouTube, you know, or other things, and I have to limit myself, because if I just did that all the time, I would slip into being irrelevant, you know. But you got to be careful. You just got to time yourself, and you got to limit yourself with some of that. Okay. Remember, isolation leads to irrelevancy. Say that again. Isolation leads to irrelevancy. All right, now here's one for you. I said this in another video that I did called Don't Let the Old Man In, but don't dress like you've given up. Okay, not only does that hurt your confidence, but it makes you irrelevant. People don't look at you, they're not serious about you if you've just given up and let yourself go. You know, there's no manual out there like from AARP or anything on how we should look as a senior. In fact, sometimes I would say that there was a manual out there, but it was stereotyping seniors. It said that we should wear orthopedic shoes from the 60s. It says that we should wear dress shoes with shorts and black socks, you know, with shorts. It would say things like, that's what I was thinking. But we gotta fight that. Don't let the old man in. Don't let the old lady in. You don't have to look like an old man. You don't have to look like a senior. Like I said earlier, you're making us all feel bad. You're making us look bad. Don't give it away. Don't give it away that we're old. Make people guess. I love it when people say, a lot of people say, well, are you retired? And I go, why, do I look it? And then I have other people saying, you know what, you look like you're in your 50s. Or you look like you're in your 60s. Well, I'm in my 70s. So, don't dress like you're an old man, like you've given up, okay? Take care of your grooming. What do I mean by grooming? What do I mean by grooming? I'm talking about things like letting your eyebrows go. Oh my gosh, have you seen that? Why do guys do that? I mean, they just get all curly cute and then they let their nose hairs grow long. Well, when you walk up to somebody, what do? They're not listening to you. They're looking at this wild stuff growing on your head or out of your nose. I mean, you look like your eyebrows are gonna connect with your nose hairs. I mean, come on, man. Take care of yourself. Groom yourself a little bit. How about the hair coming out of our ears and on top of our ears? What does that take? 10 seconds? Take care of something like that? All right, now with clothing. I said it before. Don't wear black dress shoes with shorts. Come on. It looks like you've retired and live in Florida. You know, don't look like that. You don't have to look like that. Stay relevant. Now, keep in mind, guys, these are just suggestions from me. If you want to live like this, and you want to look like this, and you want to say that you're old and act like you're old, well, guess what? You're going to feel like you're old. And you're going to be irrelevant with the rest of society. People aren't going to take you seriously. They're going to walk you through, holding your hand like you can't do it. Well, guess what? You've just made the world, you just added to the world to being irrelevant. But this is about being relevant. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. I understand. But if you're watching this video, it probably is for you. You want to be relevant. All right? So back to clothing, shoes. How about the orthopedic shoes that some people are wearing that look like they're on a deck boat from the 60s? My gosh, guys, come on. There's a lot of companies out there. One of them's in San Antonio called SAS. That's what they do. They specialize in shoes for seniors that look like shoes from the 21st century, right? They're very, very comfortable. They're made for seniors. They're made for if you have ingrown toenails or bunions, or your feet are crooked, or your toes go one way and your feet goes the other. That's what they're for. They're a little pricier, but man, they're nice. And they look normal. You can get them in dress shoes, you can get them tennis shoes, you can get them any way that you want. And how about sandals? Okay, sandals could be cool. Be careful though. Don't wear them with black socks. You can wear them with white socks, but you don't have to wear socks if your feet are decent, okay? But if you let them go, if you've let your feet go, and it looks like you've got some kind of wild, weird fungi infection going on down there, don't do that. Don't gross us out. Don't gross people out. Don't make it like, okay, well, he's old. That's the way old people look. No, not necessarily. There's medications for that. There's creams for that. There's all kind of things for that these days. So here's one more thing besides clothing. As an old person, you want to stay relevant? Well, don't act like a blank hole. Don't act like you're entitled, like the world owes you something. The world owes you because you're old. The world didn't owe you anything. You're not entitled for anything. You know, I was recently on a cruise ship, and I'll tell you, it's made me not really want to go on a cruise anymore. First of all, it was full of old people, younger than I was. But I'm telling you, I've never seen so many people in one group that felt so entitled, being mean to people, being cruel, being just mean-spirited. It's like, come on, man. Get the old man out. Get the old lady out of there. Enjoy life. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to feel like you're entitled. You guys probably see what I mean. There's nothing says you got to be that way to be old. I mean, you know, you're making us all look bad. Stop it. So volunteer. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities out there for mentoring and tutoring and in workshops. Nonprofit organizations are great for that. Coaching. In the healthcare community or community service type things. There's just so much you can do. And you know what they need? Every one of those need your experience and your knowledge. They absolutely need that. And never think you're too old to change. Let me tell you what happened to me. You know what? I never was able to graduate from college. And boy, that hurt. That stuck with me for a long, long time. I felt bad about it. Oh, I'm too old to go back. Well, when I started to change my attitude, got rid of the stinking thinking about 6 years ago, what did I do? I was supposed to graduate in 1976. Well, I graduated from college in 2018. I went back. It took me 2 years to finish. I walked the stage. I got my bachelor's, and guess what? I was summa cum laude. I had a 4.2 GPA. When I was in school before, in college or in high school, I was average or below. But this time I was into it, man. I set a goal that was going to happen for me. You're never too old. Relevancy is extremely important to us as seniors. It makes all the difference in the world to us. The fear of being invisible, not wanted, not needed, that's devastating. It's devastating to us. It can really be unhealthy. It can be really hurtful. The good news is we can control this. The bad news is that if we don't, and if we don't get control of it now, we can very easily slip into the world of irrelevancy. You may be older, we may be retired, but we're not dead. Far from it. We have a lot in the tank, right? I want you to repeat after me. I want you to say these things. I am not old. I am not old. I am important. I am important. I'm mature. I'm mature. I have knowledge and experience. I have knowledge and experience. I am loved. I am loved. And I am extremely relevant. I am extremely relevant. Well, I hope some of this has helped you today about how to become relevant and how to stay relevant. It's incredibly important in our lives. And I want to hear from you. Make sure you comment to me. Give me some ideas about what's happening in your world about being relevant, and maybe some tips that you can show us. Or if you want me to talk about some other different things along these same lines, because that's what this channel is all about. So let's keep walking and talking. Come with me on my videos. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video, because that's what we do. That's what we're going to continue to talk about. And I'd like to hear from you. So until next time, I love you guys. Y'all have a great day.